Ironheart. You know.
Oh yes, okay.
Okay, so I think just to lay the groundwork real quick. All of us here, we're familiar with the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love the originals, the classics. The first Iron Man movie is a classic movie in cinema. The OG Captain America movies, 1 and 2, and I mean all the they're great. The old school MCU movies, original Avengers, the stuff from 10 pushing 15 years ago now. It's good stuff. I grew up with a lot of it too, and there's some good stuff in that.
Almost 20, man. Iron Man came out in I think 07?
Iron Man. I think Iron Man is the best Marvel movie.
Hands down.
Because when I saw Avengers, it was like too much for me, just because I don't like too much. But like Iron Man was very, very well,
and it's held up too. It's visually held up in every way.
It might have been 09, but we're pushing that 20-year mark.
20. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I feel older now, but
but I'm old as fuck.
I don't know, man. My kids tell me in Queen Comics Life that we're from the 80s and 90s. We're ancient, so
you guys everyone's doing good, and at least everyone's still in touch with it. But we now have this new character coming up. Everything, laying the groundwork.
She's definitely a character.
Yes. So. Out now. We have.
So I didn't see Black Panther 2, so I have no idea who this person is.
Oh, is that where she came from?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where she made her MCU debut. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ironheart is a new character in the MCU. Apparently, this is coming from what is it? Comic said this is from a comic book, right? A more recent comic book, not a very old character to my knowledge.
Not very old. Within, I can't recall the actual
2016.
Year, but it was within the last 10 to 12 years. It might have been 20 around that 2016 era, right near the end of Obama and the start of Trump. But yeah, so Riri Williams is a very intelligent teenage student who is in high school and has great aspirations of going to MIT and being the first woman this or the first woman that or whatever. And like, okay, it's at face value, it's a story about a young teenage girl that wants to prove people wrong that girls can do all sorts of things. Well, it's not just girls. She wants to be the first African American woman to do this, that, and the other.
So trope on top of trope, essentially. Yeah, so
trope. I mean, and the comics, they weren't as nearly as bad as the show is, but the comics were not good. It was, but the comics, like her suit was inspired by Tony Stark. She basically reverse engineered Tony Stark's Iron Man technology to make her own suit in the comics. As opposed to this show, she gets a federal grant from her university to make the suit, which she basically just steals conceptually. So it's not even like she's doing something interesting and unique, like reverse engineering the technology. She's just basically copying the technology.
So that kind of sounds like theft a little bit.
Yes,
kind of.
Yes, exactly.
It very much is.
She steals the technology. She apparently gets kicked out of MIT because she's caught stealing something else or something like that. I haven't seen the series. This is all stuff that I've read about. I've read summaries of the episodes because we don't have Disney Plus anymore. But I've gone
Disney Plus, everybody, please.
Yeah, hashtag cancel Disney Plus.
FFS.
Yeah. For the real life fake wizard, as he says, for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus.
Absolutely.
But I have read the summaries of the episodes though, just to get a feel for what's going on in them, and then also I've seen everybody's reactions and takes on it as well.
She goes into a life of crime, and they glorify ghetto activity, and there's
she gets kicked out of MIT in the show. And then she feels entitled and throws a fit about not being able to keep the suit that she feels is hers, even though she used grant money from the school to build it. Because anybody that knows anything about especially scientific programs in colleges and universities and doctorate programs and whatnot, anything that you discover, anything that you develop, anything that you make at the school is considered the school's property.
Yes,
and then especially if you're using grant money on top of it. So the fact that she felt entitled, she's so smart, but she's not smart enough to realize, oh, hey, maybe I should do this on the side and not at school. Granted, I have access to the resources, but I'm sure I can find a workaround.
whole
and
show
then gets
sounds
in
like
with thieves and
Yeah.
member of the T and the LGBT community, the bad
Of
one, not
course,
the good
of
one that
course.
Magnum's a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
It
it's
sounds
like
it's
racial
all downhill from
stereotype
there.
after racial stereotype.
It sounds
It's like, well,
insanely
we're not
insanely
racist,
convoluted.
And apparently, the writers are just very, very low talent. Also, so.
Well, that's
I mean-
why these reactions are brutal. And I don't mean to cut you. I just want to quickly get into this. The reactions are brutal from the internet so far. And just quickly, the Rotten Tomatoes audience score has plummeted as trailers rack up massive dislike ratios and critics' scores soar. So I just want to quickly jump through this. And then we do have to wrap it up here on the hour. But after a flurry of early headlines accusing critics of review bombing, they always do that. They say, oh, it's not because our show's bad, you're just review bombing. No, your show's bad. Ironheart has now entered a very different phase of audience reactions. The early Rotten Tomatoes audience score has continued to plummet, landing at just 56% as of the writing of this article, well below the fresh threshold. So it's rotten, essentially.
That's pretty high, though.
I think it's, from what I'm hearing, it sounds much higher than it deserves. But
I think it got review bombed in the opposite direction it should have.
Yes, it does. The critic score has actually increased. Shocker. The critics are pandering, while further widening the gap between legacy media narrative and how real reviewers feel. And I just want to say here, this is why I go to criticlist.com for my movie and show reviews. Shout out to them. But yeah, just quickly, this is not good scores right here, guys. And I think this speaks to what you were saying, Comics Dad. This is just not being a well-received show.
Yeah.
And
that tomato meter is too high. That's manipulated by the people paid by Disney.
I think you're right.
That's
Access media.
what that is. Yep.
Well, Gary said that nobody's watching it, so the only people that bother rating it are people that like the show.
Exactly. And people that aren't watching the show and don't know anything about the character are spouting off on X like crazy. Like I had one dude who is who's African American, and he goes by him with a devil emoji in his name. And he said, if people are like this over a show, imagine how they treat regular people they come into contact with. People at the store, delivery drivers, neighbors. Disgusting, because we're forced to coexist with people who literally hate us for no reason. So I responded to him, and I know you're pressed on time, so I'll make it quick. But I said, I don't hate you or her, not for the reasons you think, at least. There are plenty of other reasons why I'd probably hate you, but please stop with the race baiting. It's old, overplayed, and doesn't work anymore. People are allowed to hate on just crap TV shows without thinking about the skin color of the people involved. Maybe Disney Marvel should be less focused on skin color, and then maybe they'll have good productions again.